Gentlelady from Nevada, Ms. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing on underfunding public schools and how it shortchanges students in America. I represent a large part of the Clark County School District in Nevada, one of the 5th largest school districts in this country. We have infrastructure challenges of somewhat a different sort. Average class sizes in our school district are the largest in the country at 25.86 students per teacher. 230 of our 336 schools are at or above capacity, and 24 schools are year-round. 21,000 students now are forced to take online classes. All the while, our school district projects $8.3 billion is needed for capital improvements, not including deferred maintenance. And I want to thank all of you for, first of all, your commitment to education, commitment to our students. And I want to ask Ms. Weingarten, given the chronic underfunding of education, can you address how inadequate funding of schools exacerbates overcrowding and how this impacts student success?
So, as you just talked about, Representative Lee, when you have that level of overcrowding in a school, there are lots of different impacts to it. Number one, the kind of courses that Dr. Scafidi talked about. Look, I taught AP government. I taught my Title I kids bioethics. You're not going to be able to have the space in a school to be able to do those classes, and because they may not be part of the core instructional requirement to get to a diploma. So they will always fall off. Number two, band, music, those kinds of things. So course electives that are why kids actually come to school, you're not going to have. Number two, the issues about infrastructure, both technology as well as crumbling facilities, very much impact kids. Take the health and safety issues of mold, of ventilation. That for many kids who have respiratory illnesses, that really impacts kids. And then the issue that Representative Morelli raised earlier, if you actually can, and that Dr. Contreras raised, if you actually wrap services in a school, you need some places for those medical services and things like that, which are not there. But when you have those services, that actually hugely helps kids. So those are just some off the top of my head impacts.
Thank you. Speaking of wraparound services, you've publicly stated numerous times your support of the community schools strategy, especially in schools serving a high percentage of students living in poverty, which unites resources and assets of the school, family, community through strong partnerships facilitated by a coordinator and at the school site, which ensures student success. As the former president of Communities and Schools of Nevada, I couldn't agree with you more. Your organization has directly supported the strategy in McDowell County, West Virginia, the poorest county in West Virginia. Can you tell me what you discovered there about the county's needs and how this community school strategy is an effective way to bring about collaboration needed to increase investment and resource alignment at our schools?
So first, I would invite any person on this panel to come visit the McDowell County schools with us. McDowell County, like some of the schools that some of the other representatives have testified about, is right in the middle of Appalachia. It's a former coal mining county. It's the 8th poorest county in America. It's a county that's been afflicted by opioid addiction. After all sorts of other top-down ways of trying to create better outcomes for kids, the then governor's wife, Gail Manchin, asked us to take over the schools. We said we don't believe in privatization. We could do, though, a public-private partnership. And so for the last 6 years, the AFT has done a public-private partnership with the McDowell County schools and others. And in those years, we have increased graduation rates over 12%. We have doubled the number of kids who are going to college. We have wrapped services around various schools. What we haven't been able to do is create jobs. But the other emotional and instructional impacts, we have been able to change outcomes for kids. And so when you see kids who who used to actually look down, never talk to adults, now talking about how they can use Lego to create, to code themselves. That's what I consider success in schooling.
Thank you. I do agree. I mean, some of our site coordinators are in closets in some of our schools, and it really comes down to having that personal relationship, and you need to have space to have personal relationships. So thank you very much. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.